The U.S. has denied an Iranian media report that one of its warships was struck by Iranian missiles as it tried to enter the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, said in a statement that no U.S. Navy ships have been struck and forces are enforcing the naval blockade on Iranian ports. It came after Fars, the semi-official Iranian news agency, said 2 missiles hit a U.S. Navy boat sailing through the strait after ignoring a warning from Iran's Navy. Earlier, Iran's military warned that it would attack any foreign forces if they entered the strait, especially the aggressive U.S. Army. Speaking to Reuters, a senior Iranian official said Iran had fired a warning shot against the U.S. warship to prevent its entry to the strait, adding that it is unclear if there was damage. Iranian media also reported that it had prevented American and Israeli enemy destroyers from entering the strait on Monday. U.S. President Donald Trump had earlier announced that the U.S. on Monday would begin trying to free merchant ships stranded by Iran's closure of the key shipping channel since the start of the war. Trump said Project Freedom was a humanitarian gesture and that any interference would be dealt with forcefully. Some 15,000 U.S. service personnel, guided missile destroyers, and more than 100 aircraft would be involved. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, said, adding that the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports would continue. The move comes as the 2 countries observe a temporary ceasefire, which began on April 8th, and as they work on agreeing on a permanent peace plan. However, a senior Iranian official warned that any U.S. attempt to interfere in the strait would be considered a violation of the ceasefire. Iran's closure of the channel, which is crucial to oil exports from the Gulf, has seen fuel prices rise globally and also left thousands of sailors stranded on some 2,000 ships trapped by the blockade. About 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas usually passes through the strait. In Trump's post on social media, he said countries from all over the world had asked the U.S. if they could help free up the ships, describing them as merely neutral and innocent bystanders. Trump added the operation will be made on behalf of the U.S., Iran, and other Middle Eastern nations, without listing which countries. He did not provide further details on how the operation would be managed. He also said that U.S. representatives were having very positive discussions with Iran, and that those talks could lead to something very positive for all. An estimated 20,000 sailors have been trapped in the Gulf since the start of the war with Iran. There has been growing concern over dwindling supplies and the effects on sailors' physical and mental health. The United Kingdom Maritime Transportation Operation, UKMTO, on Sunday reported that a tanker had been hit by an unknown projectile in the strait, adding that the crew were safe. Also on Monday, the Pakistani government said 22 crew members from Iranian container ship Tuska, seized by the U.S. last month, will be handed over to the Iranian authorities. Iranian media has reported that 15 of the crew have arrived back in Iran. The Tuska was intercepted on its way to an Iranian port as part of the U.S.'s blockade, with the crew evacuated to Pakistan. Pakistan said the repatriation of the crew is a confidence-building measure by the United States of America. Trump's announcement came after Iranian state-linked media said Tehran had received a U.S. response to its latest peace proposal. Iran said the response, delivered via Pakistan, was being reviewed, according to Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency. Iran says U.S. has responded to its latest peace proposal. The U.S. is yet to formally confirm it has replied to Iran. However, Trump reportedly told Israel's KEN News on Sunday that the proposal was unacceptable to him. Iranian state media said Tehran's 14-point peace plan asked for Washington to withdraw its forces from near Iran's borders and end its naval blockade of Iranian ports and for all hostilities to cease, including Israel's offensive in Lebanon. It also called for an agreement between the 2 countries to be reached within 30 days. Iranian state media added that the proposal urged the 2 warring sides to focus on ending the war rather than extending a current ceasefire. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghaei was quoted by state media as saying that at this stage, we do not have nuclear negotiations, a key demand by Washington. Iran has repeatedly denied it is seeking a nuclear bomb and says its program is only for peaceful purposes, though the country is the only non-nuclear armed state to have enriched uranium at near weapons-grade level. On Saturday, Trump confirmed that Washington had received the latest Iranian peace proposal. In a post on Truth Social, he wrote that he would review the plan, but that he can't imagine that it would be acceptable and that they have not yet paid a big enough price for what they have done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years. Speaking to reporters later on Saturday, he said he had been told about the concept of the deal, adding, "They're going to give me the exact wording." Asked by the BBC about whether military strikes against targets inside Iran could be renewed, Trump said it was a possibility. If they misbehave. If they do something bad, he said. But right now we'll see. The U.S. president appeared disinclined to withdraw from the conflict entirely, saying, "We're not leaving and we're going to do it, so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years." The Iranian state-linked agencies said Tehran's latest proposal was in response to a 9-point U.S. plan, which envisaged a 2-month ceasefire.